Hey, it's your tutor Courtney Waterman, lover of anime, manga, and math. And this is another session of Tutor Me Senpai. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Courtney, and this is another episode of Tutor Me Senpai. Today, we're going to be diving into some 7th grade percentages. More specifically, calculating sales tax. Now, everyone goes shopping now and then, and you should definitely be able to tell how much you're going to pay whenever you go shopping. So today, we're going to figure out exactly how to do that. Let's jump in. So the first question says, you buy a pair of jeans for $32. The sales tax is 6%. How much will you have to pay? Once again, you buy a pair of jeans for $32. The sales tax is 6%. How much will you have to pay? So the first thing we should do is figure out everything they gave us for this question. So we're buying a pair of jeans, so we're just going to call that J, right? And the pair of jeans costs $32, right? They said the sales tax, so we're going to just call this ST, is 6%. And they want to know how much are we going to have to pay. So we're going to say the total bill, TB, we're trying to find that. So that's the first thing we should do. Figure out exactly what we're working with. It's kind of hard to figure this TB out, or the total bill, if we don't even understand what they gave us. So let's start there. The next thing we have to do is figure out how we're going to find TB. Don't get overwhelmed. Percentages can be a little scary at first, but if you take it one step at a time and remember your formulas, it will be doable. So the first formula you want to know is how to find the actual tax that you're going to have to pay. Because they gave us the sales tax. That's not how much we're going to pay as far as money goes, but that will let us know how we can find that. So the first thing we do in order to find how much we're actually paying in taxes, all right, taxes is going to be the sales tax multiplied by whatever you're buying. So in this case, jeans. All right, so the taxes paid are going to equal the 6% times your $32. Okay, so remember this formula of taxes paid is going to be equal to the sales tax times whatever you're buying. Okay, in this case, it's our jeans. All right, so I'm going to rewrite this a little bit higher up so we have some space. All right, great. That's written up there. We have a little bit more space to work with. So we're going to have to convert this percentage to a decimal before we can do anything with it. All right, so what is 6% written as a decimal? Well, that is 0.06. Okay, so we have 6% times whatever we're buying, in this case jeans, so the $32, and we're going to use the decimal form of the percentage in order to actually calculate that. So that is really going to look like $32 times 0.06. All right, so if everyone's with me, we have, once again, how much we paid in jeans, the sales tax. We're trying to find our total bill. But before we can find our total bill, we have to find how much we actually paid in taxes. This is how much the jeans cost. This is what the sales tax is as far as percentage go, but we have to find out how much we actually paid in taxes. And to do that, we have, once again, the sales tax times whatever we actually paid for. In this case, 6% sales tax times the $32 for the jeans. We convert the percentage to a decimal, and we get this. So once we figure this out, we will know how much we actually paid in taxes. So 32 times 0.06 we have 2 decimal places, so we put 2 decimal places over, $1.92. So that is how much we paid in taxes. So we can actually write taxes equals $1.92. All right, so now we know how much the jeans were, how much the sales tax was, we know how much the taxes we paid using our sales tax is going to be, and now we have everything we need in order to find out what our total bill is. I'm going to erase a little bit of this just so we can have some space. All right. So remember, this is important so you know how to find how much we paid in taxes. But now the second formula you're going to want to remember is how to find your total bill. So your total bill is going to be however much whatever you're buying is costing, right? Plus however much you're paying in taxes. So your total bill, TB, is going to be whatever you're buying, how much that is costing you, plus how much you're paying in taxes. So we know how much the jeans are costing us, so we can write that, $32, plus how much we're paying in taxes, $1.92. And when we add that together, we get $33.92. So we know when we buy our jeans with a 6% sales tax, if the jeans cost $32, our final bill is going to be $33.92. That is the total amount we will pay for these jeans. So I hope that wasn't too confusing. If it was, don't worry, we have more problems that are going to be very similar to this. If you have any questions, make sure you're writing them down so that at the end of this video, you can put all your questions in the comments. I'll be able to see what you're asking, and I can do my best to try to answer as many as I possibly can. All right? So let's jump into the next one. Remember your 2 formulas. You want to be able to find your taxes and then how much your total bill was. Okay? We're going to be using these 2 for the rest of our questions today. So the next question is, a new pair of sneakers costs $45.89. You buy them in a state where the sales tax is 8%. How much did you pay for your new shoes? Once again, a new pair of sneakers costs $45.89. You buy them in a state where the sales tax is 8%. How much do you pay for your new shoes? So the first thing, once again, we're going to want to find out what information they're giving us. So in the last example, we were buying jeans. This time we're buying some sneakers. So we're going to call these S. So the sneakers are going to cost us $45.89. All right. The sales tax, I'm going to keep with ST, is 8% this time. Okay. And they want to know how much are we going to pay for our new shoes. So once again, we want to know how much the total bill was. As of right now, we don't know how much we paid in taxes either, right? That's a mystery, but we can find that based on what we did last time. So, how much we paid in shoes, what the sales tax is. Let's find our taxes, and then we can find our total bill. So the first one, remember, taxes equals what you're buying multiplied by sales tax. So in this case, we have $45.89 multiplied by the sales tax. And remember that it was 8%, but we're converting it to a decimal. Okay? We're converting it to a decimal. And since it's 8%, we move the decimal over 2 spaces to the left. And that's how we get this 0.08. All right? So 8% written as a decimal is 0.08. We're multiplying it by $45.89. So it's going to look like this. Okay. So let's multiply this out. 8 times 9. Good, good, good. Then we have 8 times 8, 64. Then we add this 7. Good. Now we have 8 times 5. And then we have to add that 7. And then we have this 8 times 4, and then we add that 4. Seems like a pretty big number, right? I'm not putting any commas. I'm not going to put any decimals just yet. But that's a pretty big number when you look at it. So now we do 0 times the entire top. But obviously 0 times anything is going to be 0. Right? And we add these together. Bring down this 2. Okay? And then we look at how many decimal places we have total. So there's 2 here and 2 here. So we have 4 decimal places. So we're going to bring this over 4 spots. We're going to end right here. So that's 3.6712. Now, have you ever paid this much when you go to any store? Are they asking for $3.6712, whatever that would be? No. So we have to actually round this, right? So this right here is what you really would have to look at whenever you're looking at money. So we want to keep these many numbers, but we're going to round this up based on what that number is. So in this case, it's $3.67, and because this is less than 5, we're not going to round this 7 up. We're just going to knock this off. And this is going to be how much we paid in taxes. We're not rounding up because the third decimal place was a 1, which is less than 5. So by rounding this down to 3.67, we get our taxes at $3.67. Great. So now we know how much our sneakers cost. Using our sales tax, we were able to find how much we paid in taxes. The last step is to figure out what our total bill is. So I'm going to erase this here. Great. I'm going to keep that up there. Our total bill. Total bill, once again, is going to be how much whatever we're buying is costing us. So in this case, our sneakers, plus how much we're paying in taxes. Right? Whatever we're buying, how much that's costing us, plus how much we're paying in taxes. So the sneakers are costing us $45.89. The taxes are $3.67. So $45.89 plus $3.67. You have 6 here, carry the 1, 9, 5 here, carry the 1. You can carry the decimal down now because this is addition, right? So 1 plus 5 plus 3, and then you carry this down. Great job. So this would be our total bill. So when we go to pay for our sneakers, at the end of that transaction, we would have paid $49.56. Now this is important because if you remember, let's actually look back at the question. If you look at the options here, there's $49.50, there's $49.56, and it's $49.57. B and D are very close, off by only a cent. And A is not far behind. So just one thing wrong can give you a completely different answer. So if this is on a test, you don't need to be close, you need to kind of get it, right? So you want to make sure you're checking your work many, many times over just to make sure that that 1 cent, if you were to hit D, that would mess up this question. So the correct answer would be B in this case, $49.56. Okay? $49.56. Great. So you stayed with me for 2 questions. I want to have a little fun with you. Just a little fun. So we're going to take what we did and we're going to go one step further. One step further. Right? Think about it in a different way. We're still going to use everything that we talked about, but we're going to do it and attack it in a different way with this next question. Okay? So let's jump into the next question. The next question says, sales tax is 6%. What is the total bill for your meal before tax if the sales tax came out to just 51 cents? So that, it looks like a completely different question. And for the most part, how you attack it is a little bit different. But what we know with the first 2 is going to help us greatly in trying to figure out this third question. So let's jump in. Once again, let's figure out what we know. We know the sales tax, right, is, so sales tax is 6%, right? We know how much we paid in taxes this time. So instead of trying to find our taxes, we know how much we paid in taxes. Right? Right? And they said total bill in this question, right? So you might be tempted to write TB here, right? But I'll flash back real quick for you. If you look at this question, the sales tax is 6%. It says, what is the total bill for your meal before taxes? So they don't want how much you paid totally at the end of your meal. They want how much you paid for your meal before taxes. So you need to find out, based on how much you paid in taxes, what was your meal's original cost. So going back, this TB, we're not going to need it this time. Instead, we're trying to find out M, which in this case is our meal cost. How much did our meal cost? So there is no total bill that we're trying to find out for this question. So don't get confused because we've been talking about total bills for the first 2. Don't get confused. Make sure you're reading over the question. And if it's confusing, read it again because you don't want to fall into that trap and then you give the wrong answer. So for this question, we're trying to find out what is the meal cost, not the total bill, but the meal cost before taxes. So if they already gave us taxes and they already gave us our rate, the sales tax, and they want us to find meal, we should have a formula that would help us here, right? Well, if you remember the 2 formulas we've been using, it's taxes equals whatever you're buying, right? So in this case, it would be our meal times our sales tax, right? So normally, we're just doing a straight multiplication because we have these 2 and we're trying to find this. But this time, M is the one we're looking for. So what you can do, right, if you want to work with the formula before plugging anything in, you can manipulate this formula to solve for M. So you end up with M equals taxes paid, right? How much you pay in taxes, over your sales tax rate. Because we don't know what M is. We know what these two are. We don't know what M is. So you solve for M, we divide both sides by sales tax. Right? Now, if we want to plug things in now, we know that our meal is how much we paid in taxes, which is 0.51 over 6%. And we already talked about how to convert percentage to decimal, so let's just do that now. 0.51 divided by 0.06. Right? Cool. And we know that when you write this, you really are writing 0.06, 0.51. Right? 0.51 divided by 0.06. All right, so we just have to figure out what this equals, and then we know how much our meal actually cost. And that's the answer. That's the answer. That's all we have to do. So let's dive right into this. The first thing I want to do here is notice that we're dividing by a decimal. So we want to make this into a whole number. The first thing here is to move it over however many digits are necessary to get a whole number. So instead of 0.06, we want this to be a 6, right? Let's actually move that down. But whatever you do on the outside, you have to do to the inside the same exact way. We want to make sure we're solving the same question and not changing it to make it easier for us, all right? So we're not changing the question. It's the same question. We're just moving the decimals over to make the actual math a little bit easier, but not make the question different, all right? So our new problem becomes this. Instead of 0.51 divided by 0.06, it's just 51 divided by 6, all right? And what's 51 divided by 6? Well, that is, how many times does 6 go into 51? 8, and you get 48, right? And then 51 minus 48 gives you 3. Bring down to 0. How many times does 6 go into 30? Good. Since we put that decimal here, we got to put a decimal up here. And then we put that 5 and 30. 30 minus 30, everything cancels out. So 6 goes into 51 8.5 times, which means that our meal actually cost us $8.50. $8.50. And if we look back at our question, you see that $8.50 is B. So our answer for this question would be B. Great. So one thing I want to show you. For the same question, let's say you're not super familiar with dividing by decimals, and you want a different way of approaching this, right? So instead of doing this outright, we plug everything in, and we notice that we have 51.51 M times 6%. One thing I want you to remember is this percentage is out of 100 here, right? So you can really write this as times 6 over 100. If fractions are a little bit easier for you to work with, you can convert this to a fraction, right? And then when you divide both sides by a fraction, you're really just multiplying by the reciprocal, right? So you're going to multiply this side by 100 over 6 and this side by 100 over 6, right? And when you multiply this side by 100 over 6, these go away. So you're just left with M on this side. And you have 100 times 0.51 over 6. Well, what's 100 times 0.51? Well, that's just going to move the decimal over 2 spaces. So you end up getting 51 divided by 6 equals m, which is exactly what we just did. So you don't have to remember exactly how to divide decimals if that's a little bit more difficult. There's always another way to solve the same question. So that concludes another session of Tutor Me Senpai, where today we did sales tax using our percentages. So I hope today was easy for you to follow, but if not, I want you to go back over and rewatch the video and then practice along however many times it takes. Practice, practice, practice. Because sales tax, although this is just one lesson, this is something that will definitely follow you beyond this one lesson. Everywhere you go, you're going to have some type of sales tax that's going to be applied to whatever purchase you're going to be doing out there. So if you can figure out how much you're going to pay before you have to pay it, only you are winning in that situation. You don't want to ever get to a place and you think you have enough money, and then when the sales tax actually hits, you find out you're a little short. Once again, if this was helpful in any way, I want you to rewatch it. I challenge you to rewatch it. I challenge you to practice each and every question. Follow along or even go a little bit before me to see if you can figure out the answer before I do. And if you think this video will help somebody else, share it with a friend. But most importantly, don't give up. If it's still difficult, don't give up. Math is complicated, I understand. And to some it might come easy, to others it might not. I want you to know that if you work hard and you keep at it and you keep pursuing it, it's going to come to you eventually. I believe in you and I want you to believe in you. So why don't you do me a favor, hit that subscribe button so you'll be notified whenever I do any more videos, which is going to be every week, Lord willing. Hit that notification bell, write me a comment if you wrote down any questions whatsoever. I want you to put them in the comments so I can see them and I can address them as soon as I can. I'm Courtney, and this is another session of Tutor Me Senpai. See you next time.